Good evening. It is now 7 p.m. on Wednesday, September 17th, and I'd like to call the regularly scheduled meeting of the Water Pollution Control Authority to order. Our first item of business is going to be in the communication section. Item 2 on the agenda, the approval of the August 20th, 2025 minutes. The minutes of that August 20th meeting have been distributed. Are there any corrections or comments? Seeing none, can we have a motion to approve the minutes from the August 20th meeting?
Motion.
And all in favor? That looks unanimous. We'll record that. Thank you very much. Hereby approved. Item 3 now, and under old business, actually there are no items under old business. We're going to skip to item 4, new business. First item under new business, to hear, consider an act on a sewer connection request for a proposed mixed-use development consisting of 90 residential units, which includes 75 studio/one-bedroom units and 15 two-bedroom units, and 6,494 square feet of office and amenity retail space to replace the existing Rio Bravo restaurant and office light industrial space located at 730 and 770 Commerce Drive at a flow of 16,071 gallons per day. And who's here to address this item of business?
For the record, Rob Pryor, professional engineer and land surveyor with Land Tech.
Rob, welcome, thank you.
I haven't presented in the room before, so you tell me where you'd like me to sit.
You're in a great spot.
Okay.
There's a camera that's going to kind of follow you around a little bit, but you can speak to us and occasionally look at that screen. That would be great.
I have, actually have copies for these documents for everyone to just kind of see in case there's.
Okay, what are we looking at?
So, as stated, we're here to represent the redevelopment project that considers a redevelopment of 730 and 770 Commerce Drive. I'm trying to use the aerial, sort of an aerial exhibit, Commerce Drive to the bottom of the property line in yellow, Kings Highway to the west. The property's about 1.4 acres. Rio Bravo is on the corner, is basically on the corner of Commerce Drive, Kings Highway, and then the other industrial, sort of flex industrial office, more office I would say, is to the east. The actual address is 730. If you drove by there, you'd probably see 750 on the building, but the actual tax parcel address is 730. To the north is the Staples Shopping Plaza, and then to the east of the property is Bright Horizons daycare facility. So we're proposing to remove, essentially remove the existing buildings, redevelop the site with a 5-story mixed-use residential, commercial office and amenity space on the first floor, and then actually parking on this, under this wing of the building on the lower level, and then apartments, mix of 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom apartments on the four floors above. The existing site, there's an existing sanitary sewer that runs through the site, 30-inch sanitary sewer, runs within an existing easement. The pipe is shown, the existing pipe is shown in red, the easement's in blue. We're proposing to, there's actually two gravity lines that are existing that are connected to that 30-inch basic trunk line. And we're proposing to connect our building into the not directly to the trunk, to the 30-inch line, but to one of the smaller 8-inch lines that's already in place. So as stated, additional sewer, additional flow, I believe, is something, I think it's 12,217 gallons per day. Over that which is existing, we did flow monitoring on 2 locations, basically just downstream of this location and then down near the sort of the Metro Center area requested by the sewer department. That sewer monitoring was done between April 15th to May 16th, and comprised, we had 2, we witnessed 2 rainfall events during that time. So we've submitted a sewer capacity report, a sewer analysis report to the department. We received feedback from your consultant today. Essentially, they're part of this construction does have the building being built over the existing sewer line. So they've recommended that we do TV that line to inspect it, and that any corrections or any repairs be done before the construction starts. We've taken care to essentially really limit any other encroachments onto the easement. We've kept the storm, there's no new stormwater crossings proposed. We do have one electrical line that goes out to the proposed generator that we're proposing to cross the existing sewer easement. But that's really about it. Everything else is either one side of the sewer line or the other. So, and there's an existing manhole at the bend here, and there's an existing manhole out at the street. Those manholes will be, we're not getting anywhere near those, will be retained. Obviously, there's some small regrading that's done as a part of the development. Those manholes will be brought up to grade, so to provide accessibility going forward. I think the other question that Wright Pierce had is they just commented on our proposed connection to the sewer line, and just said that we should add, either try to straighten it out a little bit or add some cleanouts. This is more a function of we don't have a real mechanical engineer on the job yet, so this could very well change that lateral
Connection point.
and so it's likely to change, but it's more of a placeholder. But it will be a gravity lateral connection to the existing gravity sewer lines and not directly to the trunk line.
So with the capacity of that large pipe, you're only going to bump it less than 1%.
Yes, it's a very small percentage. I think at this point it was 0.7% increase, and then downstream it represented about a 0.5% increase to the line.
Any questions among the commission?
Chris?
Has anyone from our team looked at the existing sanitary sewer easement to see if anything can be built over it?
No.
I think we should look into our own easements and see what it is.
So,
I don't know.
Construction on top of the pipe.
From what I understand, the developers here, they've done a similar project across the street. They had to build over the easement that was allowed there. And the Wright Pierce report does say it is allowed to be built over the easement.
Yeah, I just don't know if any.
Review the terms of the easement you're requesting.
Yeah. And then on your flow monitoring that you did you take into effect 108, 105 Biro Street in this?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Because I think those were approved previously, the past couple months, which I think the flow is going into the same thing. I think we actually use the same meter locations on these. And I think that.
They'll wind up in the same 30-inch pipe, you're saying?
That's correct. I think the calculation should go to that, because when you I would assume that we should be using those flows if those are approved projects.
Rather than, these are all prior to the approval of Bureau.
Well, 105 Bureau got approved, I think,
Last month.
a couple months, yeah, or 108 did last month and 105 did before.
Yeah.
This is the line that we had that question on because it was 90% capacity. And then they redid the calculations on it when they looked at the slope, and then it went down to 75%. So, and their numbers are pretty close to 75 in that, but I don't know where these go by.
My recommendation is that the applicant perform the follow-up and due diligence on these two items to support their application request to connect.
And I think you might want to look into the calculations that they performed on the flow monitoring.
And what two addresses were those?
105 and
108.
108 Byrow Street. And I think just for your recollection, I think they had a 75% pipe capacity, just for your,
So it's getting close to the ceiling. of 80.
yeah, yes, but they're adding 0.8. And I think 105, hang on one second here. Let's see, 75% capacity, and then 105 Byrow, or 108 Byrow. It was at 75.5% when they added theirs in. I think maybe can you reach out to the office?
Well,
And I think we
let's
have
talk
some
about
of
that.
these.
So
some of
we're
these here.
We're talking about adding less than 0.5%. So
I-
even if we take that into account,
I agree, but I think we should review them with our engineers too.
We probably want a written opinion from Wright Pierce, right?
I'm surprised that Wright Pierce didn't calculate those into them. I'm surprised that no one looked at that to calculate them into.
Can you take that as an action item and go back to, no, he's going to go back to, not the developers, but to Wright Pierce.
Well, the proof is on the applicant
Right.
specifically, and so we have our recommendations for 105 and 108 Byrow public. So those can be referenced, those capacity calculations.
Very good. And then once you get that done, you can come back before us.
okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no,
Any other questions regarding this project?
I have one clarification. The sewer line, existing sewer line that the building will build over, is this commission solely responsible for assessing that, or is that also going to get assessed in planning and zoning?
Planning zoning's already approved the project.
They have, okay. But did they assess the specific request to build over the sewer line?
It was part and parcel of the application. I mean,
It's our call, okay.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate it, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to item number 2 under new business, which is to consider an act upon the sewer use bill adjustment for number 10 Sasko Hill Road. You have some documentation as to the amount of water that was running through this system and the request to include this. It's quite a substantial amount of water.
Yeah, did they give an explanation?
They give an explanation. Sprinkler? Is that what it was?
Yeah, like
I mean, it's
a lot of water. Did it flood their property?
$54,000 worth of water. So was it pouring into Sasko Creek or right off the ground? Because that building is right on the corner there of Sasko Creek.
Must have.
And there's nowhere else for it to go. And it went on for months, apparently, right? I mean, that kind of volume. It's interesting, we don't have any requirements for an overage alarm that would shut off a system, where many municipalities do.
So,
Water
That's the meter,
intake.
that's the meter, that's Aquarium.
Right. Aquarium doesn't put that in, yeah.
No, but a lot of places do.
So we're being asked to absorb this bill. Or are we offering to absorb?
Well, we
it?
never took the water.
Received the water.
Do we know that though? Right, so I guess my fundamental question is, we purposely monitor in the winter months to avoid capture of landscaping, irrigation, and pools, right? So, I mean, are we certain that that's what? I would love to see something that documents that it was
Did you see the bill?
yeah, no, I saw the bill, but didn't see anything in the backup documenting that the fix. Usually we require them to show like what was spilling and how was it fixed? As opposed to a bunch of running toilets that were capturing.
But either way, when we're running toilets, we still give them a.
Well, we've been aligned in opposing that situation, especially at this magnitude on a commercial building.
I got $4,400. Wait, what was our bill again? Was it 50? I got.
54,868.
I'd like to see some backup as to how,
Looked like 2 months at almost 3 months at almost 4,000, and 2 months at almost 10,000.
I not disagreeing with you, but then again, if it's
Technician labor for repairs due to leak
have-
in pit. Winterized irrigation.
it's they got the irrigation bill there too.
where do you see that though?
I don't know
On
if we
the
were provided.
Page 2 of the document that came with the agenda. Aqualon, this one. You see that in
Oh,
your
I did not
attachment
see
there?
that.
Yeah, and this has the specifics of where they came up with the
Yeah.
54,000. So,
And it looks like Aquarian has already approved that they will not charge them for the sexual water. Did I understand that correctly?
No, I don't think Aquarian does that.
No, they do.
They do?
Yeah, they do. They will.
so they'll waive it, and we're being asked.
Oh,
to-
I think a lot of times they will do a one-time waive.
It said one-time courtesy
Correct.
adjustment is what I read.
That's correct.
So, and Aquarian clearly supplied the water, right? So they're waiving their fees for the,
So do we need a motion then to approve it from our commission level, or?
Yes, because I think what we did was all the small ones, we don't see the small ones anymore, but now we see the big boys.
Right.
So I think this is a big one.
Okay. We in agreement that we're gonna do a motion on this and a vote? Does that make sense?
yeah.
Now we go back to your expertise on motions.
This is hang on a second. A motion to adjust the sewer bill as per presented from the town assessor's office for 10 Saskill Hill Road.
Second.
And it's a one-time adjustment, just to clarify, right?
Yes.
Good point, we'll make that statement, a one-time adjustment.
One-time adjustment.
Also consider for a future rule.
I like
We
that
want
one.
to codify that.
Say that again, please.
We may want to codify that in a future rule. When we put a new rulemaking package
Did
through.
the tax collector provide a adjustment price, because that needs to be stated in the
Did he?
motion? I don't know if they did or not.
What, can we, actually, if I make the motion just to do what we standard do when we do add the, adjustments for, leaky,
Yeah.
water main break, so,
We'll do it like we've had in the
yeah,
past.
so I'll amend my motion for a motion to have the tax collector, perform what we standard do for a leaky pipe.
We've already had a second on this, so we can take a vote. All in favor of that motion
you get that motion?
as dictated?
She'll be calling for clarification.
Unanimous approval? This is why we have YouTube, so you can go back and look. Very good. Okay, so we're done with that item of business. And now we're moving on to item 4 on the agenda, which is the operational status update. And we can hear from John regarding compliance.
Bypasses, thankfully none. Bio drying update, the only update is we have temporarily halted bio drying due due to some deep concerns, which we are engaged in sitting down with them to discuss exactly what they're looking for from us and how to proceed. BDP, who helped us get this going, is standing by our side and offering guidance to how to mothball the proper way. And if and when we can re-establish biodrying, we can hit the ground running. So we have stopped. We are now hauling everything that is coming off. So we've gone from 1 truck a week to now we're at 3, and could be more.
This is State Deep who's putting that onus on us and other towns that are also using biodrying?
It's a very new position, coming to us from the state. And so what the state indicated to us during a meeting with them last month was that all sludge processing operations performed by a municipal WPCF pre-transport of the material require a solid waste permit, a solid waste facility permit. That's an individual permit from the state of Connecticut to run a solid waste facility. We're not in the business of managing solid waste at all. And so historically, EPA and state of Connecticut has considered sludge processing activities performed by WPCF as an extension of the NIPD's permit. So this is a brand new position. We're in discussions, as John said, with the folks at Connecticut Deep and the Waste Engineering Enforcement Division and the Municipal Facilities Permitting Program, and looking for a follow-up to be scheduled with them in October.
Are they acting in a cooperative fashion, or are they coming at us like a hammer?
We felt like it was a hammer mode during our meeting last month. I think we were just all taken aback. We were shocked. We've been discussing this position with legal counsel for the town, who is supporting us in the discussions with Deep. So we'll see where it goes. But this position definitely wouldn't only affect us. It would really affect all WPCFs across Connecticut. So
Not just those doing
it is
biodrying,
alarming.
it's
No,
right across the
it's
board.
alarming. Yeah, they're being inclusive of dewatering.
Wow.
So-
Wow, so it includes everybody. Wow,
Everybody.
that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Can I, just a clarifying question, the run rate cost impact, do you guys have an estimate of what that is, like per month?
The haul?
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is to mothball the current operation and then to haul, you said 3 trucks?
There was no cost to mothball. We were using everything we had. The cost per month is 55,000, give or take.
You tripled your hauling expense, right?
Yeah, because you have 800,000 in the budget, I think, for the,
890,
that's what I thought.
890 and
For the-
Using all
for the
that.
truck.
Yeah.
And another clarifying question, because it's a less concentrated sludge, are there cheaper disposal options available?
the benefit of biodrying is it's a lot drier, therefore you can get more into the trailer. So you're removing more
Right.
when it's dry. Now we're back to
Wet and heavy.
wet and heavy. And
Yeah, I'm just wondering if, so different types of waste have different tipping fees. I'm not familiar with sludge specifically, but, you know,
they're going
medical,
by, they're going by weight. They're going by weight only. So 30,000 pounds of, or 80,000 pounds of wet is a heck of a lot more than 80,000 pounds of dry. I mean, just volume wise. So I don't think the tipping fee changes. They're just taking a tractor trailer load, give them the weight, and that's what they're charging. It's going to a landfill, so it's not being used beneficially in any way.
Disposal options are extremely limited due to the concentration of PFAS in our sludge. So it's landfill disposal and not even daily cover usage, or it's incineration, and there's zero capacity.
and nobody's gonna want wet stuff for their incineration.
Yeah. And even ours, once it's dewatered and digested, we're still at a pretty high water content.
Yeah, we're at
Higher than what would be
16% solid,
typical, what would
17%
go to an
solids.
incinerator. So even after we process through our standard.
Incinerator people said that if it's not 22% or higher, we're sending it back. We don't want it.
Oh, wow.
It's been a historic challenge for us. If something went down, say a composting had gone down at the facility.
They still can incinerate.
Okay, are there any third parties that would be willing to process it for us at a lower cost, rather than bringing it all to landfill?
I don't think so. The whole PFAS thing in the sludge is just stymied everything.
I don't think anyone wants to touch it now.
Nobody
You
wants
can't,
the
you can't
mix.
sell it, you can't, we can't even almost hire someone just to process it because then it's, you can't touch the PFAS.
We were in discussions with Denali back in the several months ago, back then, about specifically that, and again,
They want no part of it.
yeah, unfortunately.
Any other comments or questions about the compliance section of our agenda? John, anything else? We're good? Okay. We're going to move on to item 6, which is capital improvement project update from Michelle. We have 8 items here.
So I'll run through these and just stop me wherever you'd like me to stop.
Okay.
Fairfield Beach, we're in the process of finalizing a geotechnical report, so yay, this is a long time coming for us. Geotech initiated back in April. We had the puncture of the force main accidental. That slowed this down by a couple of months. We finally have the findings, and we reviewed internally. That's what's going to help support our 30% design, which is still anticipated by the end of October. So that's a huge milestone for this project. We did recently amend the contract. Thank you, Christine, for signing that in a timely way. This was what we're expecting to be a one-time amendment to the contract with Ty and Bond. Is an increase in contract cost of $60,000. This is one to be inclusive of a slightly expanded scope of services. So one, we had to use more refined utility locating services after the force main breach, and just realizing the location of the force main and a water line there. Utilities were located very close, and we just needed to make sure we took care, because we wouldn't want to have a replay of what had previously occurred. And we are asking Ty and Bond to assist us with architectural renderings for the pump station, because we're anticipating that's very important to the residents of the Fairfield Beach neighborhood. And this hadn't been included in the upfront contract that we entered into. This is also inclusive of a one-time rate increase. It's a not-to-exceed contract price, so typically we wouldn't make this allowance. The contract followed a slightly unique path, I will say, in being executed. So it was a contract that was proposed to us. All parties held on to the contract for several months, and then we entered into the contract with not making certain revisions that needed to be made in the late spring of 2024. So we're allowing this one-time increase for rates. Ty and Bond's very aware that we're not going to be evaluating for increased rates again. So right now, on existing schedule for that project.
Once you get our artistic renderings of what it may look like, is that something that will be shared with the Beach Association, or is
It's
there
going
any
to be
plan
a
for-
public participation process in that. And so we're going to manage that internally. Right now, we're not seeking consulting
Right.
services to help with that.
I'm sure they'll make that request.
Yeah.
Is Ty and Bond subbing out those architectural services?
No,
They're
they're
not architects.
Yeah, no, they're doing that in-house.
Okay,
Yeah.
and we feel comfortable with that.
With what they've produced so far.
Okay.
Yes. Moving forward. Phase 5, I&I, it's wrapping up. I was out in the field today with In Situ Form, our pipelining company. So today was their last day in Fairfield. Sad but happy at the same time. They've done a good job for us. This project overall has been under budget, and we're able to consider utilizing the additional funds for more CCTV inspection work to inform the next phase of I&I. So there's a real positive there. So both National Water Main Cleaning Company, who worked on the repair and rehab of our manholes, In Situ Form, and Wright Pierce, all came in under budget on the project. Turney Creek, this is also a success story. Well, John, are you most tapped into Turney Creek, or do you want me to report out on it?
All I know,
bypass related thing.
all I know that bypass is slated to end by Friday.
Yeah.
We'll be taking the pumps out, and we'll be going to gravity under or under, yeah, so, monumental.
It is.
I have a relief
Yeah,
too.
cleanup of the project site in November, so right on schedule.
That's good.
Yeah, and did not have to tap into WPCA funding at all on that project, so we had that set
Besides
aside. just in
generators, I
case
think
we
you
had to use
didn't
it.
hear anything else about that, did you?
There was initial complaints about noise and stuff, but
Yeah, but-
they took care of that, and, yeah, no, it started off a little rocky, but went smooth after, so.
Phase one planning units. Scope of work is in final negotiation right now with AECom and Nickerson. Originally we're earmarking like today to bring it to the Board of Selectmen. We modified the scope of work, which has slowed it down. And so we took into consideration the gas release at the primary digester that occurred over the past several months. And although we have that under control now, we know that the repairs that were made in 2023 are not going to hold many years more, let's say. So this has been identified in technical evaluations to us, stemming back to 2018 in the facilities plan, and that the covers are at the age where we definitely need to consider replacement. Not only consider, we have to replace. So we expanded the scope of work to include the digester covers. We took something out of the scope of work, so we removed an odor control study, just considering the unknowns related to sludge management at the facility. So it didn't seem like the best time to take on an odor control study, although we would like to originally planned for such. We also modified the scope of work to include some MEP structural HVAC SCADA assessments. That was pulled out to the side. We thought maybe we'd tackle that either through our operating budget this year and next as capital outlay, or that we would tackle that in phase 2 of the improvements. But we decided to bring it in with a focused approach on each part of the phase 1 improvement. So as we look at the headworks, as we look at our UV system, as we look at our dewatering processes, we're also going to undertake those evaluations specific to what's being addressed during the phase 1 improvements. Questions, Mill River Force Main, we have a lot of activity. Mill River Force Main, so we have selected a firm to do this work for us. It's Beta Group, and so Beta has been a longtime contractor working with the town primarily on transportation traffic-related projects. Beta does have a wastewater group. Beta's wastewater group, I think, is what their services really started with, was wastewater, but this will be a new relationship that we're entering into with Beta when it comes to wastewater services. And their selection was based on the quals package that they submitted and also their interview. So we're excited to get the scope of work underway with them. We're developing that in-house right now, and the goal is to get a contract for a review and approval in November. And then I'll just roll into Center Street. Flow study performed by Ty and Bond has been completed and finalized. And what that demonstrated to us is that we likely have a lot of clean water, as we suspected, coming into the pump station, causing the wear and tear on our facilities there. As a result of the quantity of water being received there, Ty and Bond's initial preliminary design projections are for extremely large upsizing of the existing pumps. So we're going from 25s to 85s, which we don't want to over-design in any way. So that caused John and I, engineering, to take a big step back and say, like, okay, let's re-strategize what we're doing here. It was helpful to have Wright Pierce come in over the spring, perform a full risk assessment of the pump station there, identify what our primary needs are. Of course, our primary needs are the pump replacements. We need to do that as soon as possible. So what we're thinking about moving forward on is replacing pumps in kind, and by that I mean by size, right now. That will provide us the operational control and reliability that we so severely need for that pump station. And then move forward with tackling I&I. And it's a positive that we have these additional funds coming from the Phase 5 project, because we're going to be able to more thoroughly inspect the service area for Center Street and earmark where we need the repairs and rehab. And I mean, the jump, that significant jump in pump capacity, I would be hesitant to make that big a jump.
It's a factor of 4. So.
Yeah, and it's definitely, we're likely somewhere in between, but where in between are we? So definitely tackling I&I in the interim, and having the new pumps will be beneficial to us. And I think similar to what we're doing with the Mill River pump station in Forest Main, the pump station's coming a little ways out, but we knew we needed to address the Forest Main in the more immediate time frame. So definitely same with Center Street. We need to address the Forest Main, so we'll pull that out for design, looking to authorize that in the spring, and then tackle I&I before we authorize design for the pump station itself.
Just a clarifying question, the pump replacements in kind. So that means like for like on size, right? And that reduces engineering and all those things.
Right. This is totally operational for us.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you doing that as they break, or are you gonna do that?
They've already broken.
They should have been
They've
replaced a
already
little
broken.
bit a while
We
ago.
repaired them. We started putting Band-Aid on them. We had one rebuilt,
Got
but
it.
that's not going to
So you're not gonna
last
wait for
us.
the next failure, you're gonna.
No. Yeah.
They're obsolete, they're from 1999. We had to have the parts made. We spent a better part of 6 months last year with a rental diesel pump hooked up out there because the pumps were out for repair. So it's a ticking time bomb. And the nice thing about what we're looking at putting in there as a pump to get us through this 3 or 4 years is something that can be taken from there when the design is done and moved to Mill River, and they can fit in right there. So it's not wasted money, it's not.
It's prudent. I mean, it sounds really, really smart.
Needs to be done. There's something else about the pumps I was going to say. Now it escapes me.
Be a pump salesman. Perfect.
Well, anyway, we could accommodate it in our operating budget. So we'll be able to move forward on it this year. Flusher truck, no news there, unless, John, you've heard any updates?
I have
from
not
the
heard.
vendor? So we're still
December,
anticipating
January is
something.
most likely.
Yeah. A holiday gift.
Oh.
Big bow on it.
They were all the press,
Oh, they would.
all the press the new police dog has been getting, and all the social media press. Maybe we should name the
Name the truck.
Flusher.
get the truck on
Oh,
Instagram.
There's so many.
Are you sure you want to open that one up?
Got it, out of me.
So many things.
We call everyone the honey wagon. That's what we call it when they come in. It's the honey wagon's coming in.
Social media and lights for that one. So.
Yeah, that's it. They get to name, the town gets to name the pumper.
And last but not least, although not specifically identified as a capital project on our capital plan, but a significant project for us is the hydraulic model. And we're working with Corello, with engineering as our PM for this. They've installed rain gauges, 5 rain gauges, 15 flow meters, so that's now underway. I think they're checking weekly.
Yep.
The flow assessments group, and Friday of this week, we actually have a meeting to select the model, which is exciting. So that's moving right along. Now it's also long awaited and needed.
And just to bring everybody back to the whole smart cover thing that we started, they are getting data from the smart covers to supplement the 15 flow meters they have in. So we're kind of giving them 17 more points of data. So what we did was great, and it's helping them, and it'll enhance what they come up with.
We
So,
need some rain though. See what's going on. Yeah,
just don't get.
What,
too-
Like 4 or 5
What model,
emails
what
today.
model are you guys leaning towards that you don't really know yet?
I think internally, we're leaning towards ICM.
So at this point, I don't believe we have any members of the public logged into the meeting, correct?
It doesn't look that way now.
So no public comment. Anything else that we want to tackle here? Or can we go for a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second, all in favor? Thank you all very much.
Yeah.
Meeting is adjourned.
Wow.